Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Mercedes EQS 580 4MATIC. This is the key of the vehicle. It's finished in sort of copper, and this is to unlock the car, this is to open the boot of the vehicle, and this is to lock the car. Now traditionally the first thing which we do is open the engine bay or the hood or the front, but this car doesn't have any of that. This thing does not open. Only Mercedes-Benz mechanics can actually open it to actually service the car. We can't open it. Yeah, that's sealed, that's locked for better coefficient of drag, which happens to be the lowest in the world at 0.2. Insane. Now let's come to the lights. Okay, these are digital lights with 1.3 million micro mirrors on the inside. There are 3 powerful LEDs here and these 3 torches to signify this is the S class of EVs. And this is the indicator. A chrome treatment runs throughout. This light bar also runs throughout. And on the grill now, you have this Mercedes logo splashed all over. Big Mercedes logo here. Front parking camera right there. Obviously the grill is not open because this is an EV. It really doesn't need to breathe as such. This is the towing hook of the vehicle, and there you can see, okay, ground clearance is actually on the low side. Now the thing is, it obviously gets front parking sensors which you're not able to see at the moment because they are here and then here as well. Now usually we go to that side, but this time we are going to be going the other side. I'll tell you why. First and foremost, the length of this car is more than 5.2 meters. The wheelbase is more than 3.2 meters. So yes, it's a very long car with a very long wheelbase as well. Now, since you can't open the engine bay, how do you actually put in washer fluid? Very easy. This is where the washer fluid goes. You keep this pressed and okay, you have to keep it pressed for a bit more, and there it opens. So washer fluid actually goes in right there. That's kind of cool and different. So we're going to be putting washer fluid right now just to see how it works. And there, oh, yeah, it was thirsty. Now it's full. So you just shut this. That's kind of nice. It says EQS here. There's a camera right there. Obviously, it gets 360-degree parking camera. Now you can see the doors are locked. So just swipe this and the doors actually unlock. First from Mercedes-Benz to be born electric. It says Mercedes-Benz there. Yeah, 100% electric. No ice for this particular model. And there's a screen here as well. So let's just unlock the screen. There, it's unlocked. Okay. Now there's some interesting bits. You get the usual menus which you get in almost every Mercedes screen, which is EQ, navigation, phone, radio, media and all. You can browse through this, settings, info, comfort. Let's get into settings here, or rather apps, and let's play a game called Tetris. Okay, it takes some time to load, not some time, it takes quite a time to load in spite of the fact it has a very powerful system on board. So now it's still loading. Okay, that's kind of crazy. You know what, this actually uses Gorilla Glass. Okay, I'm just going to continue my game here because I was trying to build something, and yeah, you can play all this as well. Now don't worry, the driver cannot see the screen. If he continues to look here, now it will dim automatically. So yeah, Tetris is an interesting game because that's what we do in our traffic conditions. We try to fill in the gaps all the time. So I'll let the game be on so that the game can get over. Anyways, let's open this. There's this button, you press this and there opens the glove box. Okay, now glove box size is decent. However, can you see that there is this slot for a perfume? So it has got air balance package as well. And as usual, Mercedes' press vehicle never has the perfume inside. It's kind of surprising and yeah, disappointing as well. It says Burmester here. In fact, there's a tweeter right here as well. And if you've noticed one thing about the window, well, it has come down. So when I shut it, there it will go back all the way up and close. So obviously frameless windows as well. That's kind of cool. Let's get to the rear. Now, the good thing here is that there's plenty of space on offer, and trust me, I have not soiled these. Trust me, I have not done that because my shoes were very clean when I got inside. So storage space is decent in the rear doors. Wood treatment here, there's a speaker here. These are the controls for heating and ventilation for the rear seats. And you know what, a lot of man-made material, so it does not use leather as such, okay, because it has to be eco-friendly, right? You can see this sort of copper treatment because electric, of course. You can see the seat is way too upright, but no problem. I can actually recline it considerably. You can see the seat is actually reclining, and because this is an electric car, the floor is completely flat. Here you see there is good amount of leg room and knee room as well. This is scooped out. There's a magazine holder here, but under thigh support is not the best, and headroom seems just about adequate for someone as tall as me. Light placement here. This is height adjustable, of course, and 9 airbags. This car's got 9 airbags. There's a hook here, AC vents here as well. You can see there's this sort of copper treatment. These are the controls for the air conditioning. Thing is that it has got a 4-zone climate control air conditioning. The car keeps turning off as soon as it realizes no one is inside just to save battery power. 2 USB-C charging sockets, and it's not wide enough or comfortable enough for 3 passengers. 2 are very comfortable. Here, you know what, you can actually adjust the middle headrest like that. Middle passenger certainly gets ahead, and we can actually put this down. There's the screen again, which has the usual Mercedes, you know, settings and all that. It's a tablet actually. I can remove it, and there it comes out. Take it home, bring it back, slot it back into position. So that is also there. And here you get a wireless charging pad, which is kind of nice. Okay, this very soft pillow, you can see speaker system is here. It's got dual roofs which open, I mean at least the sun blind opens, so one here, other here. This is some panel for God knows what. If you know, let me know. There's a light placement here, but you know what, it just doesn't have the same finesse and madness of a Mercedes S-Class in terms of rear seat comfort as well. And again, this is frameless, so let me just put the window down. Okay, now it will not go down because the car has decided that I should turn off myself. So yeah, that's a bit of an irritation, but anyways, I'll just lock the car there, and I'm going to put all the windows down by keeping this button pressed. And will it roll down? Yeah, you know what, the windows are not opening, but there I can see the sun blind is opening on the inside. Yeah, the sun blind actually opened, so let's open the door. It's kind of weird. I'm sure there must be a setting for that. Yeah, you see, sun blind actually opened. Nice. Anyways, the tire size happens to be 255/45/20s. Alloy wheel design actually looks nice. Not EV specific as such, but yeah, kind of busy. Pirelli tires, of course. Rear lights are beautiful. Look at the treatment inside. It's kind of weird and different. It says EQS 580 right there. Rear parking sensors. This is actually where the camera is hidden. When you get into reverse, it pops out, and then I can open the boot, which is a massive, okay, this is not what you think it is, but 610 liters is the size of the boot. It's very big, and if you have noticed it already, it actually opens like a hatchback, not like a conventional sedan. So obviously the design is itself a mono volume. Okay, now the thing is, there's some storage space here. Okay, it does not get a spare wheel, which is a bit disappointing. You can actually recline the seats like that. If you want to increase the boot carrying capacity, that can also be done. And just pull this button. There you see. Now if you want to carry a house, you can do that as well. And of course, we have a light here, hook there, light here, hook there, and all that. Usual bits which you expect. Power tailgate, of course, I press this button, and there closes the boot. It says 4matic right there. Faisal Khan's fingers of truth, never search for the exhaust on an EV, because obviously EVs do not have it. But you get a towing hook right there. This is chrome treatment, gloss black finishing. You know, the design of the car is actually hit or a miss. You might like it, you might not. Okay, that is the rear fog light. It's very bright, so you might not be able to see it. You can see the indicator. You can see the treatment inside. And there's this subtle spoiler as well. Since this has a hatchback-like rear tailgate, why not give it a rear wiper as well? Anyways, let's open the charging port, and this is where the charging happens. Yeah, the charger is only on one side. It's telling information about the charging part of things. They could have given the charging port more, I mean, on a more convenient side, I think, which is both the sides. Anyways, I think there's a high mounted stop lamp right there, and you can actually remove that blind thingy. But if you want to just have privacy and don't want to show people what's there inside, you can do that as well. Car has very little ground clearance. I like really very little ground clearance. You can see that. And let's do one thing. Let's step inside. Now, certain things are really exceptional here. Okay, again, you can see the window automatically goes down when I open the door. Decent sized door pockets. These are the controls for the power windows. These are for mirror adjustment. And these are the controls for the seat adjustment. I'm going to shut the ventilation for the driver. You have ventilation, you've got heating, you've got you can save up to 3 people's settings as well. And then you can operate the co-passenger seat from here. So if I press this button there, I can move the co-passenger seat ahead and behind. Okay, I'm just going to press 1 here right now, okay, to move the seat position. Okay, and check this out. There you can see the steering wheel is going inside, and once that happens, the seat will also start moving, because I've actually set the seat on a different position. So there you see, that is also moving. So yeah, that's kind of nice. I mean, this is nothing new. Is there in a lot of Mercedes cars? Yeah, all right, okay. And this is to lock the car, unlock the car. Sound system, again, this beautiful sort of copper treatment, dual stitching, double stitching rather, and nice material usage. Says airbag here. It has 9 airbags, like I told you, along with knee airbag too. Now, since this is an EV, you can see there is good amount of storage below here, along with 2 USB-C charging sockets as well. This is the electric parking brake. These are the controls for the headlights, automatic headlights, of course, and turbine type AC vents. Car's air conditioning or fan is turned on there. It shows me the Mercedes logo. Okay, first things first, let's turn off the light. You can see the blinking happening on the side. Okay, let's just shut this. Let's turn on the car, press this button. There, the car has turned on and air conditioning off, thankfully. Says PM 2.5 because it has got a HEPA filter, and audio is turned on actually. So I don't like this whole thing. Why does audio turn on every time I turn on the car? This is with Mercedes cars. I don't like it at all. Anyways, it has got something known as the hyper screen, which is a 56-inch screen edge to edge, which is a lie because these are three screens, separate screens, 12.3, 17.7 and 12.3. So they are not one screens because I can see a gap in between as well. But hey, they are marketing it as one big hyper screen. Anyways, this is open right now, so I'm just going to slide it open to actually open the sunroof. And there you can see it opens decently well. It's not the fastest as such. I mean the usual speeds at which it opens. And yeah, the sun blind is also coming back. Let me open it further. That's about, oh my god, wait, nah, let me do this. That's about it. It doesn't seem to open more than that. The problem is this is so finicky, yeah, this touch panel. What's with Mercedes and just putting touch panels everywhere they see? Can we not just have physical buttons which you know when you touch? Because this is also very finicky to operate. These buttons also I don't like at all. They're very finicky to operate, and because they finish everything in gloss black, of course, it's a fingerprint magnet. Rear right seat backrest not locked. I know that. I have not locked it, okay? And my left knee is touching here on the center console, so ergonomics could be slightly better. This is nice material. Below here, oh my goodness, is it that? Yes, there is a BMW key there, a key to happiness, and there are two USB-C charging sockets. This is actually decent sized storage. Okay, there are a lot of buttons here. Though this is for the drive mode. This is to get into the EQ menu. This is to get into the vehicle menu. This is to get into the parking camera. This is the engine start stop button. This is for hazard lights. This is the fingerprint sensor. So you press this button after you have saved your fingerprints for biometrics, and you can save a profile which has up to 800 settings. That's not all. You can also do face recognition because there are two cameras here, multiple cameras actually there. They are infrared cameras, so they're not visible as such, but to the camera when I'm driving it might be visible, so keep an eye on that. This is to turn on and off the screen. This is for volume control. This is for volume as well. This is actually to mute the volume. Simple buttons here in the center, and this opens with twin cup holders, and then you know the size can be adjusted accordingly. Yeah, that also happens. And here there's some storage space, two USB-C charging sockets. There's a wireless charging pad right behind, so they've put a lot of USB-C charging sockets, which is kind of nice. This is obviously auto dimming. Okay, light placement here on the top. It has got connected car tech in the name of Mercedes Me, and beautiful ambient lighting. Here you get a mirror along with a light. Mirror and light is like not in one piece. Same is the case here as well. You get a mirror along with a light. Meanwhile, you see AC vents are like really very slim here, but the whole treatment of the design is actually fantastic. Steering is like huge. Okay, these are actually the controls for the cruise control and get into that menu. These are the controls for the audio system and voice commands and stuff. Now, with this you can operate this, with this you can operate this. So let's just operate this. Okay, this is a 12.3-inch one. It's actually big enough in terms of size. Here you've got multiple views for it as well, so yeah, you can get into like whatever you feel like. Service view, I mean, it's very similar to what you've seen in the S-Class. There's an assistance menu as well. Then there is a navigation menu, kind of cool. And the classic one is as good as ever. The sport one is a bit too gimmicky. And then there is the understated one, which will not overload you with information. So we'll just put it at classic at the moment. Now there's a heads-up display. In order to operate that here, you have to actually press this up button. And there you can see there are actually multiple views as well. So I'm not sure if you can see the heads-up display right now. But let's do a little bit zoomy. Now you see, okay, you get plenty of information in the heads-up display as well, including giving you stars of how you're driving. Plus, it also shows you parking sensors if you come near an obstacle or something of that sort. That's kind of cool. However, there is a problem. The heads-up display's height cannot be adjusted. It is fixed as it is. This is the gear selector or drive selector because there are no gears in this car. You've got paddle shifters for regenerative braking, and wipers work really well. Lot of spray on offer. In fact, these are the controls for the wipers. The horn is the usual Mercedes affair, which is actually nice. Now this is the mainstay. It's a nice huge screen. You can see this is navigation, 3D navigation, 2D navigation and all that you get. Now you can get into the EQ mode, and there you can decide about the charging stations, parking spaces and all that stuff. Since it's connected, it has a lot of stuff, and I can just put this down from the top. For heads up display on off, ESP, snow chains, I can raise the vehicle, Parkotronic, active lane keep assist, active steering assist, and I can lower the rear head restraints. I press this button, oh my god, it's so lowered the head restraints, amazing. Okay, now let's get into the all settings bit. There are a lot of these settings you can just like browse through and do a lot of stuff here as well. It's a information overload, honestly. I'm just like so confused. Meanwhile, let's come to the home function here. So this EQ menu will actually show you what is the charge like, and then you can decide your next departure time and range and consumption and all that, like battery related stuff. There's also a low power mode like it's there in your phone, which actually ensures that it can go further, the car. Info mode, which will show you the energy flow, as well as you can see how the vehicle's accelerator, braking and all that is happening right now. See, I'm applying brakes, you can see it's 100% brakes and all. That's also nice. And let's get out and get into the settings part of things. Okay, now here in the settings, usual bits you can calibrate. I think I've already shown you that, so we'll come out of that. We'll get into comfort. Okay, in comfort you can see there are so many massages. So massages are available for the front seats, yeah, and then I can get into seat. Here, the usual kinetics, lumbar, side bolsters and all, but there's something known as position seat automatically, which means that you just feed in your height. I've fed in my height, and then I'm just going to just remove this stupid thing from in between, start positioning there. My seat is actually moving. Okay, yeah, the seat is moving to try to give me a proper position as per them, which honestly does not work. It's just way off than what I prefer to put my seat at. Ambient lighting is also quite nice. There's something known as energy shine. What it does is the ambient light will flow from one place to another. So when you're accelerating, it will go backwards. When you're regenerating, it will go forward. And obviously you've got 64 colors for the ambient lighting, multicolors and all that, the usual bits. Okay, now let's get back. Thing is that here I can press this car menu to come into this setting. And here there is all settings, okay, which I've come like multiple times, so we're going to come out of this. It's a bit confusing. It's not the easiest, but once you get used to it, you will really love the system. We have to get into apps. Here, okay, there is something known as beginner driver mode, which actually prevents a person from disabling ESP and also limits the top speed. There's something known as valet service mode, which prevents the person from going into sport mode and also prevents them from seeing your home address in the navigation menu, which you have already fed before. So all that it does, and then usual bits are there, and then games are also there. Tetris. Oh, we will turn it on again. By the way, you can see this screen now actually dims itself from the driver side of view, so that the driver does not get distracted, because the camera is able to monitor everything. In fact, look, I will look right and then I will try to adjust the mirrors. The right mirror will be adjusted. I'll look left, I'll try to adjust the left mirror, and the left mirror will get adjusted. Yeah, I am not changing anything. So basically depending, see, I'm looking right, now I'm looking left. Okay, basis that now it actually decides and comes to know that where am I looking, and then activates which mirror adjustment should happen. So that is so cool in this car, like really crazy feature. Now this system actually has an 8-core CPU along with 24 GB RAM. It's Gorilla Glass. It has OLED technology as well. So it's very high tech in that regard. And the audio system actually happens to have 15 speakers with 710 watt output. In fact, it's the Bumester 3D sound system. Let's listen to an audio right away. Oh god, what are the songs which are playing on the radio? Anyway, let's get into the climate menu. And then in the climate menu also, you have like so many things to do. Plus, there is something known as air quality, but air freshener, it does not work because it says, please insert the perfume vial. So that's a bit of a problem. And then you can set a lot of things. You can actually turn on the car remotely using connected car and the usual bit. So this car is full of tech, and one of that interesting tech happens to be the reverse camera. Okay, firstly, it has got 360-degree view for the camera system. There you see the camera is hidden. It actually shows you there, and this is the 360-degree view. Now you can get into multiple views for the camera system. Okay, side view, and then you can actually move around like that. Attention to detail is a bit lacking because it's actually showing me AMG wheels here, is it? And it's also showing me silver color. The color of my car is actually white. Okay, so then you can obviously save GPS location and whatnot. There you have this beautiful view. You can just rotate the camera the way you feel like. It's just amazing. And the attention to detail is such. Okay, check this out. I'm actually moving the car, and then you can see the rear wheels are also moving because it's got rear wheel steering wheel. If I give an indicator, well, that is also visible there. So yeah, it's just next level in terms of camera system. Meanwhile, obviously you've got electric adjust for the driver's steering wheel. The co-driver does not get a steering wheel, unfortunately. And then there's parking assistance as well, which you have to like find a parking spot and then the car will park it for you. Let's do one thing. Let's actually turn off the vehicle, which means pressing this button. Yeah, it makes all these sounds all the time. It will auto activate, thankfully, the parking brake, and then you can see how it showed you when you actually turn on the car. Yep. In fact, let me turn on the vehicle and let me turn it off and get out. Come on, shut. There. You saw beautiful menu. I mean the beautiful graphics. Like they've worked a lot on the tech of this vehicle. So let's just do one thing. Let's actually turn off the car. There, the car is turned off. Lot of sensors here basically for the ADAS functions, of course, and the car is taking a proper bath right now. Spray actually comes out from here. Yes, that's where the spray actually comes out from. I like the way the tweeter has been positioned. It doesn't rotate or anything, and you can see it has that blind spot monitor as well. Let's try and open the windows now by pressing all the buttons, rather keeping the unlock button pressed. And then again, it is not opening the windows, which is kind of weird. I expected it to actually open the windows. Anyways, let's start driving right away. All right, we are all set to go straight away into drive, and hazard lights off, and we are already at the very first hindrance, which happens to be a speed breaker. This car hits them completely. You know, the EQC touches on almost every speed breaker, but this car is also similar. So when an SUV from Mercedes-Benz, electric SUV, is touching, so obviously you would expect a sedan to touch, in spite of the fact that this is actually a born electric vehicle. So you have to be very slow, you have to crawl through here. So yeah, this is the first Mercedes born electric vehicle, and in spite of that, ground clearance is very low. Okay, right now actually turned on the raise high vehicle height function, which raises the ride height by around 15 mm, and yet you have to be really very careful.
Sharp curve in 150 meters.
And this lady wants to keep talking all the time, giving me caution, caution, caution. By the way, the heads-up display cannot be adjusted for height, which is a big bummer. I mean, how can you have one standard height for the heads-up display? That doesn't make sense. And you know what? The pedal of this car is also a bit weird and different. Caution. Something which is not finished. Just shut up. Caution. Shut up. I don't want you to talk to me. Just keeps talking all the time. Anyways, right now we are driving in comfort mode with no fake sounds coming. It's so smooth, it's so refined. That's what you expect from an electric motor, of course. And making a quick overtake, no problem here. Onto the throttle and off we go. Everything is very smooth. Just observe the ambient lighting, because I've actually put it on this mode that when I apply brakes, it will go backwards, and when I apply throttle, it will go frontwards, just to, you know, show the flow of energy. Yeah, it pulls really nicely and fast as well, because obviously it has plenty of grunt, and around the corners you can not really feel all that weight, but it feels very ponderous. It doesn't feel like you're driving something small. Obviously it's big in terms of size, but it is huge in every dimension. You can feel it, and they have to be very careful over bad bumps. The ride is good for the most part. There's another speed breaker, so you have to be even more careful. And my heart comes in my mouth every time I come across a speed breaker. Thing is that the real... She's still talking. She has the guts to keep talking, and I've turned her off. Anyways, so it has got rear axial steering, so basically rear wheel steering, which it is able to tilt by up to 10 degrees in the opposite direction till speeds of 60 kilometers per hour to virtually reduce the wheelbase for added maneuverability, and thereby reducing the turning circle dramatically. And then post 60 kilometers per hour, it turns in the same direction as the front wheels up to 10 degrees to virtually lengthen the wheelbase, thereby giving it a longer wheelbase feel and better high-speed stability as well. So you see, it's a very smooth car, but what is the real deal here? Firstly, it has the biggest battery of any car in production right now, and it is the most aerodynamic car in series production right now, with a coefficient of drag of just 0.2. Yeah, that, I mean, it beats the Tesla Model S Plaid slightly. So it's super duper aerodynamic, which is actually known as being slippery. That's the way it cheats wind, and that's the reason why it has a massive climb range. Hold your breath off. Okay, let's overtake. Just get out of my way, and off we go. It's so fast. And right now the driving mode is comfort. You can just imagine the kind of grunt it has to offer. Unbelievable. So what is the big deal here? I'll tell you what is the big deal. Let's come to a halt here, which means hazard lights on. Braking performance is good. Only thing is there's no feel on the pedal. It will stop slightly ahead, which means hazard lights on, off rather. Okay, so the thing is, there's a nice road waiting for us, so we'll just stop here. Brakes are good for a car of this size and weight. It stops the car nicely, but only thing is there's no feel on the pedal or in the brakes either. Okay, now we have to go through the launch sequence, which means first and foremost we are going to get the car into sport mode here. We are going to change this display as well, and I'm actually going to get into sport mode, although it's not that dramatic. But anyways, we are actually going to come out of here, and first and foremost I need to reduce the vehicle height, which is automatically reduced once you hit a speed of around 80 or 100 kilometers per hour. It will drop the ride height automatically. And let's turn on active steering assist, because why not? Okay, now we get back here, okay, in this system, home, and then I press this, get into info, so it shows me the energy flow. And that's not all. We are going to get into drive mode. Air conditioning is off, left foot on the brake, and we also need to turn on the sounds. Okay, it has this fake sound thing happening, which means I go into all settings, and there in vehicle you have sound experience, which I'll turn on right now. I'm going to keep it vivid flux. There's something known as silver waves as well. Vivid flux is slightly better actually. And there's another one which comes globally, which will come to India later. Hazard lights off, full throttle, and off we go. And we're already at 100. Oh my goodness, the acceleration is unbelievable. You know why? Because it has a very massive battery pack, 107.8 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is the biggest in any series production car. In fact, India is the only country in the world outside of Germany where the EQS is actually made. Yes, although it's locally assembled, all the parts come from Germany, they put it together, but still that's a big thing, huh? Anyways, onto the throttle. There's an instant reaction that was actually for the forward collision warning. The active brake assist kicked in, so all these safety systems work really well in this car. And what is this road? We've hit kind of a dead end, okay, which means that we have to go to the other side of the road. Never mind. Okay, ground clearance is fine, tire profile is also fine, so ride is okay, fine. It's not that great a ride, it's not bad, it's not S-class level ride. Of course, you've got blind spot monitor, you've got lane keep assist, you've got forward collision warning, you've got all the ADAS systems which work really well, and that acceleration really surprises you. So it is actually producing 523 horsepower and 855 newton meters of torque. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour comes up in just 4.3 seconds, which is very quick. And then you come across a speed breaker and then you're completely screwed, because this is how you need to angle it to not touch the car. It's very like heart pounding moment for me all the time whenever you come across a speed breaker, but it just touches relentlessly with a ground clearance of 134 mm. Well, what do you expect? Ground clearance is like nothing at all. We need more ground clearance for sure. And that battery pack now is lutkoing from down, and that's the reason this problem exists. So top speed is 210 kilometers per hour, although you can hit 215 kilometers per hour on the speedometer, and then once you hit 215 it comes to 214 and then stays around there itself. So basically, considering the speedo error, the top speed actually turns out to be respectable 210 kilometers per hour. The AMG model, which uses the same battery pack and all that stuff, actually has much more power, and torque goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 3.4 seconds and a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour. You know what? There will be OTA updates where you pay money and get subscription packages where you can increase the power of your car. And then this brings me to the range of the vehicle, which is a crazy claimed 857 kilometers, which is kind of weird. You know why? Because when the car is on full charge, it itself does not show you even 600 kilometers of range. So how is it showing 857 kilometers to AARA? Simply because they put it in a closed room with air conditioning on, no passenger inside, no wind resistance, no rolling resistance, no road resistance, none of that. Just, okay, I left the steering wheel, it's giving me that sign here, it's giving me the sign in the heads up display also, catch the steering wheel. So basically they actually do it in such idle conditions that they do it on a dynometer, yaar. What the fluff? What kind of range test is that? That can never be achieved, honestly. So 857 is a massively insane, crazy number. So I think ARAI works with car makers just to promote the fuel efficiency of their car to make pop-out of customers, because that's not cool at all. Okay, you can turn off traction control. This car has got 2 motors, one at the front, one at the rear, and it's more front biased power delivery in this car, of course. And then you can turn off traction control, which will obviously like make you screech the tires a bit, which is not recommended, because honestly, just hearing the tire screech is not that much fun. The brake, okay, there, it auto applied brake, and then it's showing me someone is ahead. I was having this under control. There was no need to intervene. At least let me do something. Why do you have to always intervene? Now the thing is, since this is an electric car, you don't need to service it frequently. Now what will you service with? Well, what will you change in the servicing, right? So the service is 2 years or 30,000 kilometers. That's a great interval. And the battery pack actually comes with an 8-year unlimited kilometer warranty, which is absolutely insane, honestly. Let's just change this, okay? And here, let me also change this particular mode. I hate the way the buttons are. They're like not so fluid to work, and honestly, nothing is usable other than classic. Classic seems to be the best bet here. This fake sound is insane. Okay, in fact, this blind spot monitor now, if someone is in a blind spot and if you give an indicator, this whole thing will blink red as well. Realistically speaking, this will give you a mileage between 500 to 550 kilometers depending on your driving style, of course, which is fine, which is acceptable, and which is also quite good, honestly. And the charging time is quite fast if you use a 200 kilowatt DC fast charger, which is the top capability of this car, but there are no 200 kilowatt DC fast chargers. So I will talk about the realistic charging thing at your house with 11 kilowatt would be around 10 hours, which would become half with 22 kilowatt, around 5 hours charging time, which is not bad considering the battery is humongous here. It's like huge, and the battery alone weighs 700 freaking kgs. Yeah, 700 kgs is the weight of the battery. That's a very heavy battery indeed. And the car's weight is 2600 kg, somewhere around that, which is a lot. It's like a very heavy car, and that's the reason now the dynamics have gone for a toss. Firstly, the steering doesn't have any feel or feedback as such. It feels so neutral and like, I don't know how to say it, but it just doesn't have any feel in the center position, kind of loose there. This car has quite a lot of body roll, and it's not fun to drive at all. Not in the slightest of imagination that this car is any fun whatsoever. It's just a gadget on wheels. Beautiful tech, unbelievable, honestly. You know what? That screen actually dims if I keep looking at it, because it realizes the driver is getting distracted to dim. Nobody's sitting there, so the screen won't turn on. So a lot of interesting tech, and you can see it in the camera right now. Those two lights which are blinking, those are infrared cameras which are trying to read me and see if I'm being drowsy or something of that sort. So just unbelievable tech. It has AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. You know, at places where you have raised the ride height of the car, this car will remember that place, and next time when you come to that place, it will automatically raise the ride height of the car, knowing very well that there's a bad road there and you have to cross a big speed breaker. So it's very intelligent in that regard. But you know what? I want a car, I don't want a computer, because I have one at home and I don't roam around with it all the time because it's not exciting enough. I don't sit on my computer and try to go to a location because I know I can reach there fast, but it's not fun. And that's the problem with this car and with all electric cars per se. They just don't have the freaking soul. I mean, how many times will you accelerate out like a mad hooligan? A few times, until and unless you realize, oh, you know what, I'm depleting the battery too fast. Now I need to conserve the battery because I don't know where the next charging port is. So that's something which you have to take care. This fake sound gets to me. Just turn it off and drive. But then, you know, at least there should be some sound. Otherwise, you're going to hear a lot of the wind noise, tire noise, and the road noise. But honestly, everything is very well contained. The insulation levels in this car are unbelievable. It's very quiet, it's very silent, it's very well engineered, up to Mercedes standards. So you don't hear much inside as such. But then with those fake sounds, you kind of get confused what's happening, because the sounds are definitely not in sync with the throttle input. Okay, let's come to a halt here and launch it again, which means hazard lights on. Okay, let's just change this mode. They could be much more exciting as such. I just don't like it. So we just get into understated. Hopefully that is better. Just get out of this system, please. I just want to get out of here because I actually want to change the sound settings, which means get into settings here. Sound experience, we are going to put it into silver waves. You can pay some money and actually get different type of sounds as well. So subscription is the new way of making money, honestly. Even though you spend so much on the car, they're like, no, pay some money and then make some changes. So we just want to get into this Mercedes EQ thingy. Okay, here, let's get into the consumption data. Oh, that's so boring. Okay, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard lights off, and off we go. Well done with the fake stuff. It's so fake. I'm like totally baffled, and then these speed breakers really greet you. So ground clearance could be better. The whole point of a full, born electric platform is that they should be able to position the battery properly. Something they've kind of missed here, because ground clearance is really very bad, really unbelievably bad. It's so difficult to drive this car. Like, I can't keep doing this all the time. Firstly, the battery positioning is such, and then the massive long wheelbase, the crazy weight of the car, and all that obviously adds to this hindrance of being able to drive this car easily. Now, the ride comfort is decent, I would say, not exceptional, not S-Class levels obviously, but it gets adaptive dampers, it gets S suspension as well, and then the first 500 customers get rear wheel steering. Okay, abroad what they're doing is they're giving you 4.5 degrees of rear wheel steering angle, and then you have to pay some money as a subscription to get that to a further angle of maybe 9 or 10 degrees. So that's like crazy way of making money. Just doesn't make sense to me, the subscription thing. It's not something I'm putting on Daimler or Mercedes in particular, because I know a lot of brands are looking at doing this subscription model, considering that EVs are like maintenance free. तो पैसे कैसे कमाए, कुछ तो करना पड़ेगा ना. So 500 customers is like they have to sell a lot of cars. 500 EQS, if they're going to sell, I don't think that's going to happen in at least 1.5-2 years, because it's going to take quite a bit of time for that as well. And this is running a 400 volt architecture, which I kind of find to be a bit weird. Why doesn't it even support 800 volt, considering that Hyundai Kia cars do it? So Hyundai Kia as well as Audi's, so basically Ioniq 5, EV6, Audi e-Tron GT, RS e-Tron GT, the Taycan, all of them support this dual, voltage, because of which they can do like ultra high speed charging, which is missing here. It's kind of surprising, huh? So that's something which is bit of a miss for sure, but I think the focus is on keeping costs in check and offering something which is unbelievable in terms of quality. You know what? 80 kgs of material is actually recycled in this car. Yeah, 80 kgs is quite a lot. In fact, they have recycled steel, they have recycled materials for probably, you know, the upholstery as well. So eco-friendly credentials are spot on with this car. There's no two ways about it. They have done a fantastic job in even getting the pricing right, because the price of this car is rupees 1.63 crores on road Mumbai, which is unbelievable. You know why? 1.55 crores is the ex-showroom price. There's no registration charge for an EV right now, at least, and 1.55 lakhs happen to be the cost which you have to pay the government as TCS, tax collected at source, which is part of your taxation thingy. If you're spending so much money, like pehle paise de do hame taxation, tumhare paas bahut paisa hai. And of course 6.5 lakh rupees or 6,24,000 rupees happens to be the insurance cost of this vehicle. So right now is the right time to buy an EV till the time government is not being hungry, like give us money and we shall take money for registration of EVs, and this will go after a few years. Obviously right now they're just trying to promote EVs as much as possible. I just hope, you know, that there is some soul in EVs, because I've heard about the AMG model as well. It's fantastic, it's fast and all that stuff, but it's not having the soul of an AMG, and this car too doesn't have the soul of a Mercedes car. First and foremost, when compared to the S-Class, this is cheaper because firstly GST on this is 5%. S-Class has 28% GST, then registration charges as well. So even the cheapest of S-Classes turn out to be much more expensive than the EQS. And talking about the AMG model, that's like 2.5 crores. So that's like almost 90 lakhs more. That's super duper more expensive as well. Doesn't make sense. You can just get this car and then, you know, if you want bigger wheels, you can just upsize them. But honestly, the wheel size on this car is totally right. I think the side profile, or especially the, you know, sidewall width is spot on for Indian roads. I just wish the ride comfort would be better. The ride is on the softer side, so there's a little bit of that floatiness as well. But you know, that combined with the low ground clearance, you're like wondering, how do I drive this car on bad roads? This is car meant to be driven on the nitrax, trust me, or good roads, honestly. And there are plenty of good roads as well. But come on a bad road and then you realize, yeah, this is not as easy as you thought it would be. And I'm just wondering that since this is such an amazing car, the EQS, the first born electric from Mercedes-Benz, what is going to happen further when they come up with newer models? By the way, you can see that truck in the instrument cluster. So yes, all these systems are so similar to what you've seen on the S-Class, also on BMW models. BMW also has something very, very, very similar. In fact, those cameras you're seeing similar to BMW cars here. Let me put an indicator here. Somehow it's not detecting anyone because it knows everyone is going the opposite direction, but it actually beeps and tells me. In fact, this also has this smart thing wherein, okay, just scroll through. Oh yes, we made it. So if someone is coming behind and open the door now, it will blink red to tell me don't do that, and that's something which you've seen in BMW cars as well. So a lot of the tech is something which you've already seen on Mercedes cars earlier. Only thing here being a little different is that yeah, those more screens. And why are electric cars having so much tech in it? Because now that advantage of being able to fine tune the chassis for better handling and better ride comfort, having an engine which is like having that soul, amazing low end, good mid range, and a stupendous top end, that all is gone because now it's a commodity. Okay, electric motors are standard, so is the battery pack. So how do you differentiate? Because the character is the same. You accelerate, there's this initial pull, good torque because you get amazing torque from 0 RPM itself, and then a relentless surge till the time the motor gives up. So that's how it is. Now we'll take a U-turn from here and then you'll see how easy it is thanks to the fact that the rear wheel steering works like a charm here. Check this out. I managed a U-turn without any fuss. There are bikes parked here, no problem. I am done. Amazing, isn't that? Let me get him out of this display. They're showing me the bike as well. So attention detail is amazing. The camera systems in this car are unfreaking believable, because of which I will just actually come here on the side and put this into reverse. So here we are in reverse, and there you can see the camera system. Now the thing is that camera actually turns. Can you see this camera turn as I move the steering wheel? And then obviously it sounds here very nicely, like if something is in the line of sight. Yeah, right now it's silent. I don't know why. This is what happens when you're shooting. It will just not respond, only making a pop-out of you, and then it also shows you there. So it's like amazing and unbelievable how the whole system works so flawlessly well. Onto the throttle. Yeah, right now showing a range of 377 kilometers, which is good considering that I have been really redlining this car, or redlining is not the right word, driving it fast since the morning, and now we have some more speed breakers to encounter, which is another bit of a hiccup as such. Here, okay, angle it, and yeah. Now thing is, there's also this option you have. Oh, touched. Oh no, that was bad. So you know what? There's this comfort door package or something of that sort, wherein it lets you do what? Okay, open the doors, remotely, they will automatically open. Press the brakes, the door will automatically shut. This is exact ditto cut copy paste from the Tesla Model S. And talking about the Tesla Model S, that is the main rival of this car. The thing is that the Tesla is much faster. I don't know why and how, because it has a smaller battery pack when compared to this car, yet it is faster. I think it's lighter in terms of weight, and then obviously Tesla is making that car since so long. They've like fine-tuned it so well. The Tesla Model S Plaid Plus, or whatever that is, that goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 1.9 seconds. That's like twice as fast. That's absolutely insane. And I've driven the Tesla. The Tesla just feels so much better to drive. This thing has this massive steering wheel which seems to come from the S class, which is fine, but you know, you kind of feel the weight here. You don't feel the weight in the Tesla somehow. And then that ludicrous mode is just next level. But then this is a Mercedes. It's all about comfort, it's all about luxury. And then once in a while, if you want to be like, okay, here we go, no problem, it has that grunt, it has that thrust, it will take you further very fast without blinking an eyelid. And that's a good thing. By the way, Mercedes is planning to install a lot of chargers, fast chargers at its dealerships and in certain places, so that you can top up your EQS very fast. But considering the real world range is not what it is claimed to be, that whole marketing talk about doing one full charge to Goa doesn't seem possible to me, at least at the moment. Anyways, we're going to come to halt here, which means turning on the hazard lights. Actually, this is a curve, so we're going to stop somewhere ahead. Here I can see a lot of parameters, warning and whatnot. So we're just going to come out of this. I just wish the screens are amazing. They're next level, like really high in terms of quality and all that stuff. But somehow they just don't feel that crazy like how I would have expected it to be. Okay, the navigation menu is kind of cool. Navigation works really well because it's able to remember everything. Now things become so much more easier. Now you don't have to remember anything because you know the car is going to remember everything for you. Here, hazard lights off. If we come out of this menu, I don't have much to play with, so I'm a little disappointed in that regard. Just this info mode, and how many times should I see the same info mode? Anyways, hazard lights off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, into the classic display as well, and off we go. It's very fast in terms of acceleration. Okay, now the regen is something I've not shown you. So regen is off right now when I'm driving. Obviously I've turned off recuperation, and that obviously puts some energy back into the battery pack. Okay, it drives like a normal car, doesn't have that feel. Then I can come to normal regen, wherein see, I lift the throttle from around 70 kilometers per hour. It will slowly reduce its speed, and then I have something known as strong regen, which is like one pedal driving, wherein the car will actually come to a halt, which I will show you right away. Off we go, and off the throttle from 100 kilometers per hour. It is reducing its speed dramatically. There's a bike ahead, so it's going to auto brake, I believe. No, it's not. Okay, we'll just overtake this. Now here, just leave the throttle. It is like decreasing its speed very fast, like super fast. One pedal driving, you have to get used to one pedal driving, honestly, because it just cuts the speed so fast. Now I would rather have it off, but then that's not the way to drive an EV. And then you see bad bumps and you're like, okay, how do I tackle this? Okay, then you have to just go around them like this. So it's like Tetris in real life. Forget it in the menu game there. And then obviously that Tetris game does not work when you're driving the car. So that basically safety system is in place to ensure that you don't do mischief while on the road. And here, off the throttle, I've completely let go of the brake and the accelerator. We're just going to turn on the hazard lights because we're going to come to a halt on the side. Not applying brakes. Regen is going to do that for me. It is going to make the car stop. The car is actually crawling at 8 kilometers per hour now. It's taking a lot of time to stop, honestly, but the whole regen system is very simple. It's not complex like I've seen in the Ioniq 5. Like, we have 1,000 settings for regen, and just going to come to halt. Come on, don't start crawling at 5 kilometers per hour. That's going to be like crazy. Just stop, will you? And yeah, maximum regen is just going to keep crawling at 5 kilometers per hour. It doesn't seem like it wants to stop today, so that's a bit of a bummer. But anyways, we shall ourselves only come to a halt. Oh my god, it's increasing the speed to 6 kilometers per hour. Never mind, here we stop, and left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard lights off, regeneration off as well, and off we go. No matter how fast you drive, you have to encounter the massive speed breakers, and when the speed breakers come now, you have to be as slow as possible and then angle the car like that. Otherwise, people will honk, and this guy honked right now because he's like, "Mujhe jaane do." But come on, guy, understand the feeling. You know, I don't have ground clearance. What am I supposed to do? It's like driving a sports car again. Sorry, the camera turned off because it got chakkar after so many times I kept spinning around the speed breaker. Any which ways, we are going to turn off ESP. Yeah, ESP off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard lights off, and off we go. That is the 4matic grip for you. Even with ESP off, no problem at all. It just managed to put all that power down very smoothly. But since the system is more front biased now, the issue is that it tends to understeer under heavy cornering at higher speeds. But no problem otherwise. It really picks pace like nobody's business. Till 160 kilometers per hour, it is pulling relentlessly, and then the pace slows down. But it's actually assisted by the aerodynamic body of this vehicle. So guys, this is my vlog of the Mercedes EQS. I know I have spoken a lot today, but there's so much to talk about this new car. It's completely new, but if this is the future, now take me to the past. I really don't like electric cars, and I never will, because they don't have the soul. It's a fantastic car. As an electric car, it's unbelievable, but like all other electric cars, it just lacks the soul. It doesn't have the feel in driving, and it's just so monotonous driving this car. And half the time you're like, oh, let me save electricity, let me save energy, where do I charge again, and all that stuff, which is not how motoring should be. Motoring is all about noise, not fake ones. And on that bombshell, it's time to end. If you like this vlog, make sure to give the thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Time to stop this roller coaster.